Welcome to the Lighter Side Show. I'm your host, Jamie Butler, the Everyday Medium. Thank you so much for being here. So a lot of you guys have been saying, hey, what's a Lumineer? I'm going to remind you, it is a person who shines light, and that is you. So seeing that you're a Lumineer, thanks for joining our community, and go ahead and like our Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Vimeo On Demand, The Lighter Side Show, and send us your comments. Are there some show topics you would like to see? Let us know because we want to meet your needs. So thank you so much for being here. And as I promised before, I have the Peter Lombardi back in Atlanta. Yay! Okay, I have to hug you. It's so good to see you.
You too, Jamie.
Oh my God. Thank you for coming back.
Thanks for having me.
So we talked to Peter Lombardi about Thriveable communities and made a pinky promise, which, by the way, I upheld. Thank you.
And I upheld it too.
Yes. About talking about Thriveable homes.
Right.
How do we create Thriveable homes?
Right.
Are we going to talk about that today?
We can.
Because I made a promise that I would do whatever he said. About changing my home into Thrivability, guys. That's what I'm talking about.
I promise.
So I'm kind of excited.
Yeah, and I promise there are some simple things you can do.
Good.
There are more
simple.
complicated things, but there are simple things.
Okay,
too.
will we talk about both of them today?
Absolutely.
I am all in. But for you Lumineers who are joining us for the first time, this is Peter Lombardi. I like to call him the Renaissance man because he does a bit of everything, like gardening. You're huge into plants. I know that you do artwork, design, you invent. I even think you cook. You talk a lot about cooking.
I do.
In fact, I was kind of like, hoping maybe you'd cook us all a dinner here one time.
I could.
He could.
Do you like
I'm
pasta?
getting closer.
Homemade pasta?
Oh my God, which brings me to another thing, and yes, I do. Are you
Okay.
kidding? I don't think I've even had homemade pasta before.
No?
No, I have not.
Oh, we have to fix that.
But you are fluent in Italian.
I am.
Can you tell us a few things?
Well, now I have stage fright.
When I first started dating my husband, he's Portuguese, Brazilian, and he speaks Portuguese. And I would always tell him, tell me something. And he would say something and it was beautiful and he wooed and won me over. But the entire time, what he was telling me, found out a decade later, it was the mustard is on the table. That was it. He used to tell me in sweet moments of wooing me, the mustard is on the table. But he said that was like good sounding words, and it sounded romantic. And now I was like, I kind of wish you didn't tell me that. Anyways. No, but
Se volete posso parlare in italiano, ma per me è un po' difficile quando non c'è un altro italiano nella stanza, comunque.
Dove il bagno?
Il bagno è di là.
That's the only thing I can remember. Where's the bathroom? That was really cool.
That's an important thing to know how to say.
Yes, it is. And you are an ambassador?
I'm a delegate.
A delegate.
Yeah.
And you put together a newsletter. It's not even a newsletter.
There's a magazine. I'm a delegate for the Republic of Italy for the cultural. It's very hard to explain in English, actually. But they have
Italian.
They have Italy has different cultural entities to protect Italian culture. There's dance, language, art. One of them is cuisine. And so I am the delegate for New York City. There are chapters all over the world, and we meet as a group, and we rate different Italian restaurants in New York. And we talk about ingredients and cooking methods, and there's a very lively discussion at every one of our dinners. It's a lot of fun.
I love it. You actually lent me the book. You were like, Jamie, you probably really want to look at this book. And I was so excited. And when I got home, it's all in Italian, man.
No, the back is in English.
Oh, gosh. I was like flipping pages, ready to read articles. And I'm like, what is he thinking? I can look at the pictures. So I set it up on the dining room table. I was like,
Well, you know what's interesting, though? There was a big article on turmeric.
Yes.
And black pepper. And I saw when you were speaking with Maitland, she started talking about turmeric and black pepper.
And she loves giving it to pets.
Right.
To take care of.
So maybe intuitively I knew maybe she figured out that stuff from the magazine. I don't know.
Is it written in English? I'd like
in the back. It's in
I'm going to
English.
go to the back of the book. See, I'm one of those good girls. I start at the front and it's like organized. Okay, so we are here to talk about Thriveable Home. Now, before we get into it, can you refresh us on what Thriveable is?
Yes, Thriveable is allowing something to grow and become stronger. So an ability is having the skill set to do that. So you are basically enabling something else or yourself to grow, expand, improve, pristine, become healthier, more vibrant.
Sometimes people will say, Jamie, you're blanking out. I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm daydreaming about all the wonderful things you're saying. That's all I'm doing. First step, daydream. Second step, put it on paper and make it a reality, right?
Right.
Third step, follow through maybe?
Yeah, build it.
Which we're following through and building. And so in being Thriveable, what I hear is that you're allowing yourself to produce more, maybe than what is needed to sustain, so that you can take that extra and either heal the deficit of what's happening in your home, or even to give you the opportunity to give to others that are around you or near you.
Right. If our needs are met, then our cup is overflowing, and we can then give to other people. If your cup is empty, you have nothing to give anybody. So it's really great to, and it's not selfish in the negative way. Mm-mm. It's selfish in the positive way, because you ultimately help everybody.
Can we make t-shirts? I'm selfish in a positive way. Hashtag selfish in a positive way. Let us know how you are selfish in a positive way.
Right.
I think it's so entertaining to think about.
Yeah, it's great.
So
Yeah.
this self first, taking care of oneself,
Right.
to empower to then take care of others.
Right.
But I love writing it the other way. All right, so what are some things? Do we call them fixes? Adaptations? Do you have a certain kind of language around it? Is this kind of like feng shui? Does this affect our energy, or is it just for, because I remember when we talked about communities a while back, you had mentioned that there were three kind of topics or headers. One I remember was social,
Yeah.
community,
Yeah.
economy,
Yeah.
and I will refresh my memory, environment.
Yeah, exactly.
And so if we're looking at a Thriveable home, are we looking at the same three things, or is it more condensed?
It is all of those things, but it becomes more personal, because your home is your most personal space
Yes, it is.
that you engage with on a daily basis.
It is. It's where I hang my hat.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why it's even more important to really address a lot of really great things in your home, to bring it up to another level. And it does have a lot to do with energy, how you feel, your psychology, connection to nature, having your needs met, those types of things.
One of my top needs in my home is natural light.
That's really important.
I have to have light. And I tease that my husband, he steals light. He's a darkness guy. He's a nighttime guy.
Ah, okay.
And he likes things dim. His eyes are sensitive. He'll come into a room and he'll start clicking lights off. And you know where he's been in the house when everything's turned off and dark and dim. And sometimes I'll make this noise in the background. I'll just go, because he's sucking the light out of the space. And I'm going behind him going, I'm in here. And I'm clicking on 3, 4, 5 lights because I enjoy brightness and illumination. Mm-hmm. I open curtains constantly, just trying, I need more. Mm-hmm. So are some of these Thriveable abilities in meeting your needs, can it be related to something as basic as that, just needing more light?
Lighting is really important. Really, really important. And I think how you light your home can really make it feel protective. And you can actually, I can help you with this.
Yeah.
You can light your home in a way where it can feel very bright, but also not be too glaring, so that everybody who's living in the space can enjoy maybe one setting on those lights.
Peter, if you can do that, then I'm going to consider you a marriage counselor, because there's so much more to this.
Part of my job is counseling couples through the design process. So I do know how to do that.
Really?
Yeah,
That's not something we really think about.
I know.
Though I did have somebody tell me, if you can survive your renovation with your husband, you'll do fine in your marriage, no problem.
That
Okay.
and shopping at IKEA.
I didn't know that one.
Yeah.
I've nailed it. This marriage is solid then. That's really funny.
Yeah, so, I brought some examples of things
Yes.
that I use in my own home. Should we go through them?
Yes, I would love to.
So one thing I really love is it's a really simple material. It's actually a composite. And you can make this at home. There are instructions all over the internet. It's called Orgonite. And basically you can buy all these materials on Amazon or at your hardware store. But you use pieces of metal shaving, sometimes little bits of crystal, and you bind it in an organic resin. And this actually is very scientific. You can measure this with scientific instruments. And it's based on the work of Nikola Tesla. So if anyone out there knows who he is, he was a master electrician and he really understood energy.
Yeah, he was
Electrical
the one,
energy.
Yeah, who claimed to take electricity from thin air.
Correct.
Right, to generate energy from thin air.
Yeah.
Lumineers, I'll definitely have a close-up look for you, but if you're just listening in, it kind of looks like a very dangerous tiny bar of soap
Right.
with shavings of metals and whatnot's in there, because the resin it's exfoliating. Oh my god, the resin looks like soap, looks like glycerin.
It really does.
And so everything is. May I touch it?
Yes, of course.
Didn't mean to reach out and
No,
grab
it's
it
okay.
without asking. My apologies. Like a BB's in there.
Yeah, people experiment, they do different things, but the core ingredients are these metal shavings, which are mostly aluminum. And some crystals. Crystals hold certain types of energy.
Yes, they do.
And then the organic resin allows those elements to have conductivity between all of them. And basically what this does is it reorganizes energy. So, the Earth has geomagnetic energy running through it. And that's part of what Nikola Tesla was pulling, is the energy that's coming through the Earth. We basically live on a giant power generator.
Yes, absolutely.
So what this can do for you is you can plant it in your four corners of your property, of your house, and it'll help to start reorganize any energy coming out of the ground. As if you live near a cell tower or high-powered tension electrical lines, it can really help to stabilize that electrical energy that is in the air. We don't see it, but it's definitely there.
So would it also be able to help in situations of history, like war grounds or battlefields that we live on top of? Would it help reorganize that energy? And what kind of balance is Orgonite seeking?
It's
when it's
seeking a more
reorganizing?
pure electrical flow.
Okay.
And, I don't know all the ins and outs. So sometimes I work with it intuitively. But I know my home feels much better.
Did you make this?
I did not make that. I bought that on Amazon.
About how much does it, may I ask about how much does a piece like this cost?
I think you can buy sets of 16
Nice.
cubes, and it might be $30, something like that.
It's almost like an ice cube
Yeah.
size.
You can also put this in like a pond or a body of water near you, and it'll also help with cleaning up the energy in the water.
So it's not water soluble?
It's not.
And so here's my kicker of a question for you, Mr. Lombardi.
Yeah.
How does it feel to put something like that in the ground that's not compostable, dissolvable, water soluble? I mean, are you contributing to the pollution cause, or
Well,
how do you rationalize that? Because we do have some extremists out there who would say, that's not natural, that's not what we need to be doing, though all the ingredients that you've listed are natural, but
They are, but there's electrical pollution. We live in amazing amounts of Wi-Fi
Huge.
and cellular signal. And, there are studies, the UN actually put out a video on how damaging all these electrical magnetic waves are. So for me, the benefit of using this is far outweighs that it might not decompose. Sorry, everybody.
I used to have a copper box in my office.
Yeah.
And it was large enough for a lazy boy chair or for 2 people to sit in. And it was completely sealed. It was a wood frame with copper meshing, 100 thread count, I think, if that's correct how we do that. And then we sealed it with copper tape around the edges. And when we got inside and closed the door, you couldn't use your cell phone. You had no radio signal. There was no EMFs on the inside of this copper cage, ceiling to floor. And I've always had this distant dream, which I probably need to pull a little closer, about doing that around my bed. Can you imagine crawling into a cage like that and going to sleep without battling all the electrical rewiring, EMFs,
Well, that's the beauty of this, is you do sleep better at night.
So can you do something like that just in your bed?
Yeah, you could put this in under your mattress or in the 4 corners of your bedroom.
I will like to say that Peter has a master's in architecture, and I can't tell you how nice it is to hear somebody who is so far into the realm of intellect, design, creation, and then to hear you talk about Orgonite and talk about the health of the earth. It's just this crazy, broad spectrum that you're bringing to the table. We don't get that a lot with people.
Yeah.
Really nice.
Well, and all these things can also be explained scientifically. So, going back to it's not woo-woo, it's true-too.
It's tutu.
It's tutu.
It is. It's true.
true.
And science is catching up, just like you said. Measure that stuff, and it can let us know what's happening.
Right. And here's another product.
Pretty.
It's called Radiant Room, and it's actually a holograph. You see that?
I do.
So you can go on their website. It's called Safe Space, and they have all sorts of amazing products. But it's basically, this is the more refined version of the Orgonite. And I have this in my apartment in New York City because I am literally bombarded with Wi-Fi signal. And when I go on my internet, you can see, when I first moved there were 4, and now there's a list of 40. So you can see how it's really picked up in urban areas. Once I put this in my space, it was completely calm. I slept really well. It felt really peaceful in there. So
You mentioned internet. Does it interfere with your service when you go to use it?
no, it doesn't hurt any kind of internet signal, but once again, it'll take whatever signals are bouncing around in your space and reorganize them before they enter your body.
So is it better to wear something of this nature rather than grid your home with it?
You could do both. I would suggest doing both.
This kind of reminds me of a coaster.
Yeah, I know. You can hide it. You can put it wherever you need to. It doesn't have to be.
My kids would be throwing this. That is really neat. Almost looks like a CD disc too.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. They also have adapters you can plug into your power outlet, and it takes the electricity running through the wires in your house, and it reorganizes the electricity that way as well.
Wow.
Yeah. This is becoming more and more mainstream, understanding electricity levels that are acceptable to the human body and electromagnetic frequencies that are not acceptable.
Right, so there was a lot of physical side effects, from headaches to decreased immune system to even severe cases of autoimmune diseases and illnesses, lack of sleep, ADD. There's tons of things that fall under this. Cancer. How did I leave that one out?
Yeah.
My goodness. If you guys are interested in the Radiant Room, their website is safespaceprotection.com if you'd like to check that out.
Really great products.
That is neat. How did you come across this?
Research.
End of story.
I had clients who were not sleeping well. Someone actually had solar panels on their roof, and the electricity was leaking through the roof into their home, and they were getting agitated. And so I started researching for a solution, and I found these products. So that's how I came across it.
Can I ask how they're sleeping now?
Perfectly.
Really?
Yeah.
Truly a marriage counselor. Right? I'm so excited. What else did you bring?
I have some essential oil, and this one is called Abundance. But you can use anything that really feels right to you. And basically, essential oils also have a frequency. So, like frankincense, if you go back to biblical times, that was precious because it was a very powerful healing agent. Yes. And the modern understanding of it is that the electromagnetic frequency is higher than, let's say, the virus that's in your body. So if you put this into your body or on the part of your body that's affected, it will, the virus can't survive that frequency. And so it dissipates and goes away. But what I like to do...
I can't say it even better than that. That was great.
Do you want to know what I do with this?
Do I?
I don't know. Do you?
I do. What is it? What do you do?
You can put this in paint.
Wait, no. Like paint, like an artist paint?
Like on your walls.
Like in the bucket?
In the bucket of paint. So for 1 gallon, I would put maybe 20 drops of this essential oil and mix it up really good and paint your walls. And it'll lock that frequency into every wall of your home.
It won't damage the paint?
It doesn't damage the paint. It actually makes it smell really good.
Oh, office. I just had you painted with no essential oil. There's still time. We have a little bit left. Yeah, he's got to do a second coat. Maybe we can
I would do that.
Is this a company that you like?
This is Young Living. So I'm sure some of you have heard about them, but I love their oils. Yeah, they're really cool.
May I read? I want to see. This one is called Abundance. And do you particularly like this one?
I do. I like it. I've used it in my home, and it sounds crazy, but I got a bunch of new projects after I painted my entryway with the Abundance oil.
You did?
Yeah.
It has citrus and orange peel, boswellia. I need my glasses. This is great. Clove, ginger, cinnamon, myrrh, more cinnamon. I like cinnamons in there twice. And black spruce leaf oil. Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty powerful stuff.
Yes, it is. Is this the same one that you put into your...
Yeah.
So that's Young Living, Abundance. I love their thieves.
Mm-hmm.
I burn it.
That has the frankincense.
I diffuse it. Yeah, it has the frankincense.
Yeah.
Every day now in Suite 10 at the center. That's beautiful. I've never heard of putting it in paint before.
Yeah, and they have calming, so you could maybe paint your bedroom with calming. You can kind of figure out what oil would be good for what room in your house.
Who taught you that trick?
Someone in New York that I work with. She's really amazing. Her name is Zila.
Zila. Can we find her? If anybody wants to continue researching, or because that is clever.
It is clever,
right? Don't you think? I'm sitting here going, what else can I put it in?
Yeah, I know.
It makes me want to go paint things.
Right?
Yeah, I know.
Because I do in lotions, and I do it in scrubs on my skin. I have all that done, but I've never thought about putting it on walls.
Yeah, it's great for architecture.
Yeah, that is kind of what you do, isn't it?
It is.
So I guess now I have to repaint my house. Is that what you're saying?
Well, you could do room by room.
Room by room.
It's fun, experiment with one room in your house, maybe one that you spend a lot of time in, and see what happens.
I wonder what it would do, like coming in with a pendulum or dowsing rods or, communicating to spirit, having that vibration up on the wall.
Yeah.
Because for me, I know how important the fabric is, even down to the fabric on the couch, what the rug is made from, what the colors are, where it came from, all of that.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine the walls. A lot of my protection that I do, my intent, is about having the walls, kind of gridded with energy.
Yeah.
And my windows, skylights, doors, entrances and exits and floors and ceilings. And I go over that every day. But if that was already in the wall, I wonder how much it would lighten my load.
We got to try it out.
Okay, I will.
Yeah.
I will.
Okay.
I see more. Like being in a candy shop, Colleen. My goodness.
So I found these recently. These are Prill, Pril, I think. Pellets.
2 L's.
2 L's. Because in New York City, we have a lot of chemicals in our water that comes out of the tap. And I don't like fluoride in my water or chlorine. So I found this, and what's really cool about it is this little packet of pills here. If you put it in you don't want to put it in plastic because the water will start to taste like plastic. So you need a glass container. But I do, like 5 gallons at a time. And it basically restructures the molecules of the water. And it also helps to pull the chemicals out. So basically it turns normal water into the structure of dew. So it's a thinner quality, and when you drink it, it really absorbs into all your cells.
Okay, I don't think I've heard anything described like the structure of dew. So I'm lost on that one. So what do you mean, like a thinner water?
Yeah, somehow it restructures the way the water droplets hold together, and it makes it thinner. That's what they say.
May I touch it?
Yeah, of course.
So you can drink this?
Yeah, actually, when I drink the Prill water, I just guzzle it because it's so good. It tastes really good.
So you got this off of Amazon.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter like what company. You don't have a preference.
Mm-mm.
It has no smell.
No, it's
It kind of looks like crushed chalk.
yeah,
And so it dissolves in the water?
yeah. No, it doesn't dissolve.
It doesn't.
No, the water passes through. It's basically like quantum physics, because the water molecules that get transformed then help to transform all the other water molecules. Does that make sense?
Yes, it
Okay.
does. But I've never
So
had this conversation before.
that being said, you
Yeah.
can, let's say you have a river by your house or a lake or a body of water that maybe is dirty or polluted. You can toss this in there, and for as long as it's in that water, it's going to help restructure it. So it can help with pollution.
Okay, so why don't we know about this stuff? What happens when great stuff like this has been out there for... How long has this been around?
I don't know, but I'm really fascinated by it.
Colleen, when do you remember this coming out? Because this was familiar to you.
Yeah, I remember Pearl pellets within the past 8 years. I was trying to look up the company that I knew them from.
Yeah, it totally
Health and
surpassed
wisdom.
me.
Yeah. With all these things, try them. See how you feel afterwards. It might not be for everyone. For me, I will never drink normal water again.
Really, I'm kind of secretly in love with my Berkey filter.
Yeah.
It does the charcoal filter and another...
Well, what I do,
Filtration
I
and-
first filter my water like that way.
Whoa.
Then I put
And
it,
this?
and then I do the Prill, because the structure changes and it's easier for your body to absorb the water.
So how is this kind of helping the quality of a thrivable home?
It helps your body thrive.
Amen. We're done here. Let's just end it.
You know,
it's nice
water-
to see you guys. Bye.
Water helps to run the electricity through your body.
Right, we're 98% water.
So you just got to think about the basics, right?
Do we have to?
Huh? Yeah.
Yes. Yes, we do. Well,
Um,
I brought something,
okay.
and maybe I'm looking for brownie points. I don't know, something like that. But after I hung out with Robert Swan and went to Antarctica with him for his initiative, 2041, which is the year that Antarctica comes up for purchase, actually. It is our only true land mass that nobody owns. It is our last wilderness. So in 2041, I hope you guys have your eyes wide open and protect it and keep it that way. And Robert Swan talks a lot about reusable energy. In fact, this December, oh my God, is it this December? He is hiking back to the South Pole. No, this
Wow.
December he's going to the South Pole with a group of people to test equipment to uphold in extreme situations. And in honor of that trip, I went and did my 1% change and got my Goal Zero solar powered for my phone. So I can charge my phone and not need electricity.
I have outdoor landscaping, and I light up everything with that one solar panel. And I even run my, I have drip irrigation on a timer, and it runs all of that. And it's really fun to know that at least part of what I do, even in the middle of New York City, is off the grid.
At least a part of it.
Right?
We can achieve 1%, then we are all making a big difference.
Yeah.
Like this even charges batteries,
Yeah.
solar batteries. I mean, I've seen rechargeable ones that you plug into the wall, but this has been fun, and the kids love it. I didn't tell them how to set it up. They figured it out. They knew, so it's user-friendly. No fear.
Pretty amazing.
When you do solar panels outside, do they need to be facing a certain direction for better?
They need to be facing south.
Facing south.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm sitting here thinking in my own house. Are you doing the same thing? So mine would be anybody who's walking down the street, they're like, oh, look at that roof full of solar panels. Like it wouldn't be hidden or anything.
Right. I mean, like I said, you should check your local regulations. But if you're a renegade like I am,
Renegade!
you could at least have some fun, experiment, and have that pleasure of knowing you're making your own energy with zero pollution.
You mentioned you were growing stuff and using that power for drip irrigation.
Yes.
What you growing?
I grew a white garden.
Colleen is laughing on camera.
I knew where you were going with that. So, which growing?
Which growing?
Well, I grew a white garden. So I had, there's a really great,
A white garden?
yeah, I'll explain that in a second.
Can't wait.
But basically also another, I love Amazon, by the way.
I am such a big fan of Amazon too. I can't tell
I mean,
you how
you
many
can
episodes
find
where
anything on Amazon
it's
at
crazy.
this point.
Yeah.
So anyway, they have this system called Flora Felt, and it's pocket gardening. I don't know if you've seen, like, let's say you see a whole green wall of like living plants. It's basically the same thing. But you can buy these little panels. They come pre-wired with the drip irrigation in it.
Oh, they do.
Yeah, and you go to the farmer's market or wherever you get your plants, and you plant them in the pockets, and you can make a whole beautiful wall of living material. So what I did this summer, I was experimenting, and I had a rain barrel on the roof and a drip irrigation down to the...
I'm sorry, I'm having a visual. How'd you get your rain barrel up to the roof? Do you have an elevator, or are you one of those buildings where you have to like
It's a stair,
lug it up the stairwell?
but it's a collapsible.
Collapsible?
Yeah, so it's made out of like a nylon fabric.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I was just trying to imagine. 'Cause those things are big.
Yeah.
There's
But
Peter.
they're pop-ups, so you just put the little poles in and you fill it up and it becomes a rain barrel.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, continue.
So where was I?
I know. I'm so sorry. You
Rainbow on the roof.
Yeah, rain barrel on the roof.
Solar timer,
And solar timer
so it waters twice a day.
twice a day. But you were going to explain also what a white garden is.
Oh, so what I did is I planted different types of ferns and then different varieties of flowers that bloom white. So it was mixture of texture and different shades of white, but I think it's kind of elegant.
You're kind of elegant.
Thanks. But what I also did is I grew tomatoes, basil, chives. I had lemon verbena, and I actually made lemon verbena ice cream at the end of the summer.
Wow.
And I did this all on my teeny little balcony.
Lumineers, if you find yourself complaining that you don't have enough space to do all of this thrivability that we've talked about, I mean, just think about the porch he's talking about. It's 3 by 9. It's not that big. And you have collected the water, you have natural power, and you're growing your own food.
Yeah, in the middle of New York City.
That's so neat.
And it meets all the fire codes and any kind of law. So I also researched to make sure I wasn't breaking any kind of rule or law or, health and wellness.
Which is a good point. And you've mentioned it a few times through this thread is do the research. Make sure you know what kind of product you're getting into. Even if you're buying it off Amazon, though we love Amazon, kind of anybody can sell product on Amazon.
Yeah.
So do your research about the product. Is it safe? Is it a fire hazard? Does it comply with your local rules and regulations? for neighborhood. What do you call that? Not neighborhood community, but
Like a covenant or something?
that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Do the research. Come be Thriveable with us.
Yeah.
And maybe I'll keep you Lumineers posted about what I do in my home per Mr. Peter Lombardi's request. Maybe I'll put some essential oils in the paint for my walls. I definitely want to look at solar option. I'm very interested in that.
Yeah.
Like almost so interested that I would change the grade and shape of the roof of my home to allow it to
Can you
be
imagine if everyone did that? Wouldn't that be amazing? Every neighborhood, slowly but surely, people retooled their houses to be thrivable and connect with nature and sun pattern and energy collection and water, and you can grow food on your roof with a green roof, or the pocket garden that we described. You can do a lot.
I am. I'm very interested because even the traditional gutter systems that we have, they don't really run water or collect water properly.
Right.
And so I'm certain that once if I can start from scratch just on the roof side, like you mentioned, there's so many things I can cover. I can collect the water, I can do the solar power, I can do the green roof.
Yeah.
And that gives us right there just a huge head start.
Correct.
And I'm not even going into windows and sealing the house and looking at air quality and light quality in the home.
Right. Yeah, and also a green roof, well, it helps mitigate stormwater runoff too, because it's like a giant sponge. It insulates your house. Most of the
that we
heat
need.
or heat or cold enters your house through the roof, just like a human head.
And so
Right.
do the squirrels,
And so do the squirrels.
just like my head.
Yeah.
We have one squirrel. We haven't named it yet, but we're big into naming things.
We had a squirrel when I was little named Skippy.
Skippy? That's it.
Skippy.
We'll name ours Skippy in honor of you.
We could feed him peanuts though.
Really?
Yeah.
Ours, he gets really close and he stares at us and I call it singing, but he's probably yelling at me. I have it recorded. I'll let you listen to it if you want. I wonder, Lumineers, do you ever just go, really, Jamie? What are you up to? But that's just the unique life that I have, and encouraging you to follow your own path as well.
So can we talk about color theory?
Yes.
You know how we talked about using the essential oil in the paint to change the frequency. Well, color also has a frequency.
I'm a big fan of that.
Yeah. And those colors affect us, including, look at this really cool wall.
Yeah. How's your bum feeling on that green seat?
It's happy.
It's right. It's a happy color.
Actually,
this.
there's a lot of research, once again, the true side, not the woo-woo side.
I love it.
Scientific, studies, psychology studies on color theory and how they affect people.
Mm-hmm.
And the way they were really able to deduce, it sounds really crazy, but they had different rooms of different colors, one color in each room, ceiling, floor, everything. And they would put test subjects in the room, lock them up, and see how long it would take before they would go basically bonkers and try to beat the door down and get out of this room. And so they were able to deduce what colors did what to certain people. But a lot of it is just common sense as well.
I know one of the first tests that they ran were in prison communities. I say communities, but they paint the prison cells different colors to see if it would calm them down and mentally give them a more in control situation.
Right.
And you know what the color was?
Pink?
It was.
Yeah.
It was pink.
Yep. See, I knew.
You just knew. I was just like, out of all the colors, those men were probably like it couldn't have been like a teal or like
A nice chocolate brown.
Yeah, it was a very pretty light pink.
Yeah.
So yes, I am a full believer in color theory. So
So-
when you design
Yes.
certain homes and you talk to the people, because we joked about you being a marriage counselor, do you ever see qualities where you're like, you need a little light pink in your life, or this would be nice in this area? I mean, do you talk to them about that and suggest it? Or?
I do. The most effective use of color is in more commercial projects. Like I did a charter high school, and we used color theory in each of the spaces of the school. And it was very powerful how it affected not only the students but the teachers as well.
Really like the learning environment of it.
Correct. Yeah.
So what color did you choose?
Well, actually, for the classrooms, we used a chartreuse like this.
Like this?
Exactly like this, because it helps with concentration.
It does?
Yeah. It's a great color for thinking clearly, for problem solving, for remembering things that you've been learning.
I didn't know that aspect of this color.
Yeah.
I knew that it brought up emotional connection.
Yeah.
I knew that it triggered joy and happiness, especially a call to action of expressing joy and happiness. So I had no idea about the concentration aspect.
Yeah.
Good, I need that.
Yeah.
That's probably why I loaded those chairs in the car right away. I was like, bright green chairs, buying them.
But, and then other spaces we used light blues, which are more calming.
Mm-hmm.
We used those in, we created what were called cave spaces where we had comfortable chairs and sofas where the students could just relax. Even though they were at school, they had the chance to just kind of step out for a little bit and regroup or, re-energize themselves. So the blue really worked well with that. And then some of the other spaces we used, like a creamy white, and that really helped with, just a normal space where you don't want it really energized or shaping how you're feeling or thinking.
Did you ever run across a situation where a teacher or a student was like, no, I'm not going to sit in front of that color. Like, that's not going to fly for me.
Actually, I had a teacher, when we were finishing the school, it wasn't open yet. I painted her classroom this chartreuse color. And during the walkthrough, she came up to me, was very angry with me. I was surprised because usually people don't get angry with me.
Yeah, you're not the kind of person who kind of triggers that.
Yeah, and she said, "How dare you paint my room this crazy color? I want it changed immediately." And I said, "Will you do me a favor, just give it 1 week and see what happens after that 1 week." I said, "It's only paint. We can change it really easily. But just do me a favor and humor me on this."
And she let you?
She let me. She stomped off. And then a week later, we were there finishing up our punch list. And I completely had forgotten about that exchange with her. And all of a sudden, I could see someone lurching towards me and giving me this big hug. And it was this teacher. And she explained to me that part of her students are autistic. And she said it was the first time in her life where they sat through the entire hour lesson and had complete attention and were listening to her. Yeah. So as a result, her room stayed chartreuse.
Oh my goodness, Peter.
Yeah. So I've had personal experiences with the color theory and proof that, indeed it is a really powerful tool and it can really help you thrive within your home, depending on how you paint, what colors you use.
Well, if you need to hug my wall, I mean, you can when this is over. You
All
can
right,
just,
I might do that off camera.
yeah, off camera. I'll still have it rolling. Just kidding. That's fantastic.
Yeah. Another thing that is easy to do within your home. So, I don't even have a lawn, but I was able to grow some herbs and vegetables out my window.
Right, you talked about your
Pocket gardening.
Yes.
But if you have a yard, you can do a lot of amazing things. And there's a whole concept around edible landscaping.
Yes.
Right? So you can plant blueberry bushes and strawberries and all sorts of things that are going to grow you food throughout the year and actually look beautiful.
Can you also give some tips on how to keep the squirrels out of it?
That's a little tough.
I went out there and I talked to them.
Yeah.
And I told them I would give them like seed and things that they would really like, but they ate every single strawberry. And I've had strawberry plants in my front yard now for 10 years. And I want to let you know, I have maybe eaten 3.
Really?
And they love it.
Huh.
I swear they sit out there and hold hands and wait for it to be perfect and then eat it before you can get to it.
Yeah. Maybe the trick is planting more strawberries.
Do you think I need Okay.
Or put a little cage over your strawberries.
Yeah.
I don't want like a yard full of, caged plants. Like
My neighbor does that. Her
Yeah.
whole little garden is caged. Yeah.
I mean, it is hysterical. We'll see it, and I'm like, oh, one more day, and we'll have these 4. And we're so excited, one more day. And back out there next morning, gone. I'm glad I can support the wildlife, honestly.
Well, it's also nice to do that, right?
But I love, yes, I guess it is. So when you're planting edible stuff, I know that you're in the city, so you're doing it up on the wall, but when you're talking about doing it in your yards and everything, do you have a suggestion of doing the walls outside in your yard, or above ground planting, in-ground planting?
You could do a mixture. If I had a garage, I would cover that thing in vertical gardening and just grow all sorts of stuff on my garage. I think it'd be so cool.
I had a reading with a woman in Tokyo, and if I remember right, she was just asking, like, what do I need? Like, I'm missing something, and she needed something. And her guides were talking to her about the size of a meditation mat, maybe size of 2, that to lay out her meditation mat and then take pots of plants that grew tall and colorful the way that she liked and line them around the mat so that she could get on the mat and lay down and feel like she was surrounded by plants, and to do her meditation there, that then she would connect the way that she wanted to, because her big connection was outdoors and plant. And she said, she couldn't get out. She was taking care of her mother indoors. That it was always just living in her home, which is very small in Tokyo. And I always thought, God, that would be so great. Like a cool, design element where smaller than a closet, just enough for you to lay down. Can you imagine having the walls of those plants and just laying down and looking at it?
That'd be amazing.
That'd be so incredible. And then we could put copper on the outside. Let's just build this right now. Block all the EMFs.
Can we use that corner?
Yeah, maybe we could do one in here. Colleen's making the orders right now.
Yeah.
This is fun to start dreaming about.
Yeah, thinking this way, my hope is that whoever's watching this, it'll trigger something in you. And you'll come up with ideas that no one else has thought about, or take an idea and carry it further. Right? Yeah.
Dream it, get it down on paper, design it, touch it, invent it, and make it happen.
Right.
It's kind of what motivates this guy.
Definitely. Yeah.
Ooh, can I put you on the spot?
Yes.
Not like I
think.
have before. Do you have some kind of saying or something that you use that motivates you or connects you energetically to what your call to life is?
I love the phrase, this or something better.
This or something better.
Yeah.
When do you use it?
Every day.
Every day?
Yeah. What's cool about it is because it takes away my preconceived notions of what's going to be best for me. Mm-hmm. And even though I know wow, I really hope this happens, I love this. If I say this or something better, then I'm opening it up for the better. If it's really truly something better for me, it'll come in.
I love it.
Right?
Thank you for sharing that.
You're welcome.
I'm so happy you're here.
Me too.
Maybe we can keep this on going.
Yes.
Can I share why you're in Atlanta? You're actually just traveling through.
Yeah.
Do you want to know where Peter Lombardi is headed? I'll tell you, because he's not talking. And I'll share because it is someone that inspires you.
Yeah.
Built this place that I personally loved to bits and pieces, which is called Walt Disney World. And Peter has a really good connection with Walt.
Yes.
And the way that he saw the world and what he brought to life.
Yeah.
And so to recharge your batteries,
Yeah.
you mosey down to Walt Disney World.
Yeah, I do.
I love that.
Yeah. Yeah, you know why? It's the most important piece of urban planning in the United States. And not only do I feel that, but Walter Cronkite had said that many years ago when it first opened. And it is a masterpiece of transportation and waterways and using the land in a way that's appropriate, leaving most of it intact as forest. It's just it's a jewel. It's really cool. And Epcot Center, when I was little, I was there when I was 12, completely changed my life.
Really?
It did, because I saw solar energy for the first time, and I saw computers really for the first time, and I learned about the history of communication of our planet, and I learned about transportation and growing crops hydroponically.
You're right. That
The
wing
land.
was incredible.
All these things as a little boy really influenced me.
When I first went to Epcot, that was the biggest building I'd ever seen in my whole life. I remember standing under it and looking up and going around
Yeah.
the ball and seeing the patterns repeat.
Yeah.
And then, of course, my parents are like, okay, come on, let's go. Because I grew up 40 minutes away from there.
Yeah.
And as a family, we'd go every year.
Yeah.
But then as I got old enough, of course, I would go several times a year. You get passes. It's just kind of like your backyard. And it's just where we haunted and rode all the rides all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But I hear they are removing the Epcot.
Sadly, they're turning Epcot Center into, from what I hear, the rumors, into more of just entertainment instead of learning through entertainment. And I feel really sad about that because, as I said, it really influenced me and helped me get to where I am now, which is my life purpose. And I wonder about the newer generations, if there's nothing really there in a huge public display to excite them, and what's going to happen. I mean, we can do all of our things, in our homes and in our communities.
We'll go to the Lombardi Center.
Yeah.
That's what that will look like.
Why not?
Dream big.
Peter's going there.
I was already there.
What?
And that's a huge part of why I do what I do. Is it's not only for us adults, but probably more than anything, it's the children. Because for them to grow up in these thrivable communities, in a thrivable home, thrivable neighborhood, can you imagine?
It becomes their standard.
It becomes their standard.
And it's what they're looking
and
for
guess
when
what
they
they're
get
going to
older.
do? They're going to take it to
They're
another
going to go
level.
this or something better.
Or this or something better.
And they're going to make it better.
Right. Yeah.
Listen, whenever you have a lecture, whenever you're holding class, a video, teaching us any of these things, please let us know. I would love to share with the Lumineer community.
I would love that too.
Okay, it's
Yeah.
a deal.
Okay.
Do
Should
we get to
pinky
pinky promise on that
pinkies-
one? It's done. I think every time you're here, we're going to make another promise.
Okay, I like that.
That's great. Thank you, everybody. Peter Lombardi, again, thank you for being here. If you want to know more about him, peter-lombardi.com, and we'll have all the details down in the we'll have all the details down in the description. I'm laughing and I can't talk. This is good stuff. Remember, Lumineers, it's not woo-woo.
It's true.
With